had a baby, or you may or may not know. So she has been pretty busy with her new little girl, and I obviously am getting married next month, so the wedding has been approaching pretty fast and has been taking up a lot of our spare time over the last few weeks and months, and basically the whole year anyway. So we haven't had time to film a lot of videos. However, we do have a nice little list of things that we want to film for you guys over the next month or so as the wedding approaches, and today's video is going to be all about how to make your wedding makeup stay on all day. Now, if you guys watch my beauty channel, you might have got some of these tips and tricks before. This is basically aimed at brides primarily, obviously, but if you do just want to make your makeup last all day, if you're going out partying or if you're out all day, you know, same rules apply. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for making your makeup last all day, along with a list of products that I think are really good for helping with that as well. Okay, so jumping right into it, my first tip is to make sure that your skin is prepared properly for makeup. And by prepared, I mean thoroughly cleansed and moisturized. You don't want too much moisturizer on there because it will just create an excess that might be a little slippery for your makeup to sit on, but you also want to make sure that your skin is hydrated and healthy and plumped and ready for makeup. And your makeup not only will sit better on your face, but it will also last you longer as well. And then the next step that you want to do, if you don't already, is apply a primer. Now, I apply primers most days when I'm wearing makeup just to help my foundation kind of adhere to the skin, but they also create a smoother surface. So a lot of them, especially if they are silicone based, will help to kind of smooth the surface of your skin. If you have uneven skin or large pores, you can buy primers that are targeted specifically for that. A few of my favourite primers are the Illamasqua, I think this is called, Satin Primer. This is lovely, very light and moisturising if you have kind of normal to dry skin. I also love the Clarins Beauty Flash Balm, which is kind of a classic. You guys might have heard of this before. As a kind of lighter primer, it doesn't so much feel like you're coating the skin. It's more kind of a step above a moisturiser for me. And then I also love the By Terry Hyaluronic Face Glow, which adds a little bit of coverage too, and it is also great if you have quite dry skin. I wouldn't say put this on very, very dry skin, but if you have normal to dry skin, but you still want more of a matte finish, this is a Hydra Matte Nude Base, so it's still moisturising while leaving you with a matte finish. And then if you're looking for a cheaper alternative to any of those, the Revlon Photo Ready Primer is my favourite primer that you can buy on the high street or in the drugstore, because the others are quite expensive. This is a cheaper option. And then you just want to apply your foundation on top of that. And then another couple of tips for making your foundation stay all day. First of all is get a makeup setting spray. This is just a miniature one from the brand Scandinavia, but Urban Decay are kind of the best at these. Scandinavia make the setting sprays for Urban Decay. I just have this one left over. It's just about finished, so I need to go and get a version of the Urban Decay one too. I'll put some pictures in here just to demonstrate, but they do different makeup setting sprays for different skins. So I think a lot of people who have oily skin think that makeup setting sprays aren't for them because they are kind of moisturising and they feel like they need a powder instead. But Urban Decay do make D-Slick, which is specifically for oily skin. They also make one for drier skin, and then they make one called All Nighter, which is meant to be kind of last all night. So I mean, in terms of which one is better, I'd say they are all good. It just depends on your skin type. If you do have oily skin, definitely go for the D-Slick. If you have normal skin, go for All Nighter. If you have dry skin, go for the dry skin one, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head, but I'll insert pictures here so you know what they look like. These things are amazing, and to be honest, I don't just apply these after I've applied my makeup. I'll spray them on before I put my primer on, I'll spray them on after my foundation, I'll spray them on then after I've put my powder products on. So after I've done my eyeshadow, my blush, bronzer, powder, anything else that you're putting on, use it as a kind of last step as well, because it helps lock in the powder products too. In terms of what you want to be carrying around on the day to make your makeup last all day as well, definitely makeup setting spray for top-ups throughout the day. It just really helps to refresh the look of your makeup as well, especially if you have dry skin. So this is an essential for me for kind of long-lasting makeup. Makeup setting sprays are wonderful. You cannot discount traditional powder either. Generally I'll use both. If I really want my makeup to last all day, I will powder the foundation and then spray it, like I said. You really want to powder everything that you can on your face in terms of colour and coverage, because it really helps. If you have a cream layer and then a powder layer, it will really help for it to stay. So powder over your foundation, whether or not it's translucent or whether it has coverage and you want a little bit more coverage than your foundation offers. You can also, if you find that your blush comes off quickly or easily, you can also apply a cream blush and then a little bit of powder on top of it just to set that, whether or not it's coloured blusher on top of that, so powder blusher, or whether it's translucent powder. Both work, but it obviously depends on the kind of intensity of blush that you're looking for. Also, in terms of eyeliner, if you're going to be using a liquid eyeliner or a gel eyeliner or a pencil, what you can do is add a black eyeshadow or brown, whatever colour eyeliner you want to use, eyeshadow on top of the eyeliner just to really help set it in place, helps as well. In terms of the eyes, again, I would definitely recommend getting a primer. My favourite is the Urban Decay one. Urban Decay generally do long-lasting makeup the best out of all the brands that I use, in my opinion. Their primer is great. It's kind of translucent. It comes out like a flesh tone, but it doesn't really have much coverage at all. You just put it on after all your foundation and base, but before you start putting on your eyeshadows. A lot of people say use a cream eyeshadow as a base. I wouldn't recommend using any old cream eyeshadow as a base because they do tend to move around a little bit depending on which ones you're using. The MAC paint pots are good for about 8 hours. However, if you really want to add a lot of staying power to your eyeshadow, I would say use a primer, then a cream if you want to use one, and then powder instead of just the cream as the base. So Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion is great as well. Gel eyeliner is another one that really is wonderful. In my opinion, it stays longer than liquid liner. Obviously it stays longer than pencil. Pencil is the least kind of long lasting, depending on which one you use. But in my opinion, gel eyeliner is great. I use the Bobbi Brown one. The MAC one is also good. Maybelline do a good one. In terms of black gel eyeliner, I find it's all much of a muchness. With a lot of brands. There are some that aren't as good, but Bobbi Brown, MAC, Maybelline, you can't really go wrong. And then it might come across as obvious for wedding makeup, but using waterproof products wherever possible. I mean, obviously waterproof mascara. This is Max Factor's Clump Defy, which I really love. But you can get waterproof mascaras of whichever ones. Use your favourite one, but get the waterproof version maybe. If you do think you're going to cry, I would recommend wearing waterproof, but even if you don't think you're going to cry, I would still recommend wearing waterproof mascara because generally it lasts longer. If you're going to be dancing, maybe you're sweating a little bit, crying, like just generally a whole day's worth of emotions and activities, you might find that your mascara moves a little bit. So definitely waterproof mascara, but you can also get waterproof eyeliner. Like I said, gels a lot of the time are waterproof, and you can get waterproof concealer. Makeup Forever do a really good one. If you wear as much waterproof stuff as you can, it's going to last even longer. And then my last and final tip for making your wedding makeup last as long as possible would be to get one of your bridesmaids, whoever feels like doing it, to carry some of your essential products with them on the day, so that you have potentially your concealer, your lipstick definitely, and an eyeliner if you're wearing eyeliner on your waterline, or if your eyeliner is kind of likely to move if you have watery eyes. I would definitely recommend taking an eyeliner, potentially a little bit of blush as well, and some eyeshadow, depending on how much you can take with you. Take as much as you can for top-ups throughout the day, and also a miniature size of a makeup setting spray as well is always really useful. And if you can't buy the miniature ones, definitely get a disposable bottle from Boots or Superdrug or wherever and fill it up so you have a miniature version ready to use on the day. Yeah, and that is it for my tips and tricks on how to make your makeup last all day for your wedding day. Good luck if you guys are getting married soon, and if you're not, and if you're just watching for general use for everyday makeup, then I hope you have found some new kind of ideas or products or tips from this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot. And yeah, I will